Welcome to the Sharpe Show. So glad to have you with me. A little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. So glad you are with me this evening. And I'm going to be away the entire weekend. I'm going to be down in D.C. with a couple things going on. Some of you know what those are. I will be down there in that area. So no show over the weekend. Because there'll be no show over the weekend, I figured, hey, maybe I should instead do an AMA tonight. So tonight we get our AMA, which I hope will be very interesting. Sometimes these are awesome. Sometimes they're boring, but it's AMA. So if it's boring, it's basically your fault. See, so I can just easily blame all of you for all of my problems. That's why I love AMAs. They don't go, well, you guys suck. They go, well, you guys are awesome. Actually, I'm going to change that. They go poorly, it's your fault. They go, well, it's my fault. How about that? This way I can do exactly the right amount of shaming and blaming and still feel good about myself. That does feel much better. But the piece I wanted to bring up specifically, if I could, the number one thing I wanted to bring up, and again, I'll take all questions, whatever the case may be, is what's happening right now with Eric Adams. And what I mean by Eric Adams is, for some of you who may not be paying attention, Eric Adams is the mayor of New York City, the largest city in the country, and he just got indicted and charges are coming. And it looks like there could be a whole bunch of problems coming up here. And you're saying, wait a minute, hold on. A New York politician? Corrupt? What? I know, it's shocking. I know you are saying to yourself, what is going on? But no, it's true. It does happen. Even in New York, it does happen sometimes. Absolutely it does. So he pled not guilty today to many charges, corruption and conspiracy and RICO and all these things, right? All that kind of stuff. But as always, I will say two things, as I always do, and I mean this sincerely. The man does deserve his due process. He deserves it. He'll go to court, and he should be able to. Absolutely. So he should get it. And I support him getting due process. Everybody, if you're an American, you deserve and you should get due process. So it is possible, though, be clear, this is going to sound crazy, but there is a chance, not a high one, but there is a chance that all these charges will be dismissed. You say, wait a minute, Larry, they got this guy. They got him on this and that and the other. They do have him on a lot. They got all the cell phones. They confiscated cell phones. They got all kind of stuff. And here's the weird part. All these people are around, but there's really only like one or two people charged. So you might say, wait a minute, Larry, if all those people are around, why are only one or two people charged? Some of you know what that answer is. Why would other people not be charged? Because they made a deal. That is correct. They all made a deal. So they made a deal to hammer him as a witness. So the people who would be charged are now witnesses. So they've either already agreed to some kind of deal, like I'll, plead guilty to this or that, or nothing, depends on who they are. But I will absolutely turn in Eric Adams and turn on him and be a witness against him and blah, 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 and all these things. So that's happening now. So it does look bad for Eric Adams, but there is a minor chance. It is not large, but it could happen that they drop all the charges. Now you might say, Larry, why would they? They don't like Adams. You're right. Adams is in trouble. Adams was not good with the migrants. I mean, for the Democrats, I should say that, right? I should be clear. We're talking about party politics in this case, right? He doesn't have enough friends. And you might say, well, wait a minute. I thought he's guilty. Why does his friends matter? Silly person. Clearly, allies matter. And this is the issue. Does he have enough allies who will rally around him? I think no. I think he does not. And one of the reasons why you find Kathy Hochul being so strong, even though she's a terrible governor, is one thing she does very well. And I always try to give credit where credit is due. She hands out jobs to the right people, so they're in debt to her, and so she has to stay in power. That is a very savvy thing she does. When she is supporting her patrons, she is actually a very good ring giver, right? We don't get anything, right? But they do get a lot. And that's why Hochul has so many allies. So even when she's a bad governor, she still keeps getting good this, good that, good the other, right? She still gets it. Adams made a mistake when he put people in charge. You might go, wait a minute, what do you mean he made a mistake? Well, they're all corrupt. It's the norm. And the one thing, again, I'll give credit where credit is due with Adams. When Adams put all his family and friends in positions of power, which he did, they all do it. He was actually open about it. He was like, why you mad at me? Because I put my sister, my brother in power. Everyone else does it. They just lie about it. And I was like, damn, you're right. Okay. So yes. So in that specific case, I will give Eric Adams credit. Absolutely. He said, I'm putting my families in place like all the rest do. Go to hell. You don't like to say something. And people are like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I guess you'll do that then. But here's the problem. He put family and friends in power. He didn't put powerful people in power. He didn't build his alliances, as Kathy Hochul does very well. And all of you are saying, Larry, this sounds terrible. I thought politics is about others. No. It's about power. That's what it's about, right? So, yeah. So I get it. He put his friend or his family or his sister or his brother. Okay. I mean, God, I hate it, but they all do it. He's not wrong. But then now he makes the mistake. And here's the worst part. He didn't even put competent people in. So he didn't put competent people in, and he didn't put his powerful friends in. What? Neither. Either put competent people in and get some wins so people actually like it. He has no wins. So get some wins so people go, oh my God, you got some wins. And wins would be whatever policy people complain about and you do the policy thing. He did none of that. So that didn't work. So no competency. Or put in powerful people who, when you get in trouble, have cash or connections or friends to save you. He didn't have that at all. I had it all. Remember Cuomo? His charges got dropped. Why? Cuomo made a deal. His charges got dropped. Charges get dropped. Remember how Cuomo was toast, resigned? All of a sudden, all charges dropped. What happened? He made a deal. So there is a chance that Adams makes a deal. It's a chance. Some kind of deal, do something, maybe. I don't think it's high. I think they kind of want his head because AOC went against him already, but there is a chance that he can make a deal and everything goes away. If charges are dropped in the next couple of weeks, he made a deal, if that happens. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I feel like it won't, but that's still a chance, right? Right? I do think that there is a chance that he may make a deal and it all goes away. And the deal will be something like who he supports or not running or who he's going to support, who runs against him or whatever, something like that. Cuomo made the deal just, I'm going to shut up, take the heat so no one goes to jail for the grandparents he killed. I'm not joking. That was his deal. His deal was, I know I keep saying I'm a joke because it sounds horrible, but for those who don't remember what happened with Cuomo actually was in trouble for the nursing homes and he was in trouble for grabbing butts. So they said, take the grabbing butts thing and that'll be the headline. We won't charge you anybody else with the grandpa thing, the grandma thing, and we can walk away from that. Because the problem is many state governors also killed their grandparents during the lockdowns, putting them into the nursing homes. That wasn't just him. That was a bunch of states. So a bunch of Democrats leaders get trashed or Cuomo takes the butt grabbing charge and we forget about it. And that's what happened, right? That was the deal he took. So he took it, butt grabbing charge. He writes a book saying he doesn't grab butts. Charges get dropped. Everybody's happy. No one goes to jail. Democratic leadership is intact. Cuomo could still run for mayor if he wants to, or for senator or something. Win, win, win. That could happen in the case of Eric Adams, but I don't think so. My gut would say no, but I do think it's still possible. They do make deals. And you're saying, Larry, this doesn't sound like justice at all. Duh. Like this is anything to do with justice. They'll say that, but they'll tell you, oh, it's about justice. It's not. How do I know that? Because there's a whole bunch of wire fraud charges. Once there's wire fraud charges, it's BS. That's it. You're going to say, Larry, what do you mean? Wire fraud? Okay, what wire fraud means is someone used a cell phone so the feds can step in. That's what that means. I'm not joking. Wire fraud means somebody used a cell phone to ensure the feds could step in. Done and done. That makes sure that. So that's why that works. So anyway, I yapped away on this. I'll grab some questions on this basically, and then I'll walk down the road. But that's what we're talking about here. And again, we'll go wherever you want, but I thought it was cool. So Kim says, honey, you're home. I am home, honey. Thank you. Oh, it's so sweet, honey. Thank you. Yes, I am home. Andrew says, the AMAs come with a Christmas surprise. Oh, thank you, Andrew. That's amazing. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. That Liberty Lady says, Larry Sharpe for New York City mayor. Okay. Why does this matter, Liberty Lady? Thank you for that. Because next week, I believe, this is my view on this. Remember I told you about Biden. When Biden was under pressure, I told you, I said, the weekend will tell whether he's gonna not run or not. That's what I said, whether he's gonna suspend his campaign. The weekend will tell. And I said, the weekend is being pushed. This was back when Biden first had that debate and all the problems with the bad debate and when he got hammered in that debate with Trump. I said, the weekend, you're gonna see the Biden surrogates and the Biden people now, operatives, are out there trying to get the press to shut up, get on board, and let it go. It's not a big deal. Nothing to see here. If they would have done that throughout all the Sunday shows until Monday, I told you, if they did that, he would not drop out of the race. He'd stay in the race. I told you, if they failed and the press was still talking about it, he's dropping that next Friday. I told you that. I got the receipts. Is what I said. It's exactly what happened, because that's how it works. Right now, Adam's team is doing exactly the same thing, trying their damnness to gather allies, trying their best. He's playing race card hardcore. If you see, he did an event, just black people at it. I mean, he was just called AOC a racist. He's playing a black card hard. He pulled that thing. I was like, take that. Draw 4, black people. Draw 4. He was not playing games. He's playing that black card hard. And will it work? My gut says no. But again, he's playing the only cards he's got. So he plays it. And he plays it hard. I get it. If I were him, I might do the same thing. To be forward, I might do the same thing if I was him. You got to play the cards you got. That's the card he's got. He doesn't have successes. He doesn't have a lot of friends. So he plays the race card. Okay. Throws that card out there, hopes for the best, tries to gather allies to calm this down. Here's my prediction. If it's not calmed down by Monday, Tuesday, he will resign. But if it's in any way calm or anything else comes to the forefront, something else happen, he's going to fight this out to the end. He's going to stay on board, fight it to the end. He's going to stay and fight to the end. Doesn't matter. Fight all the way to the end. Here's why it matters for someone like me, which is why you brought this up. Those of you who don't know what happens, in New York City, we don't have like a vice mayor or lieutenant mayor. We have a position called the public advocate that is currently held by a guy named Jumaane Williams. Guy I know, I actually know him. We did a Brooklyn Cyclones home run derby together in 2022. So, and sadly, he beat me, but that's okay. He's also younger than me, so that's why. See, that's my excuse. I did get a home run. I did hit one home run. See, I can still hit home run. I did hit one home run in 2022, but they put me up against, just side note, him, another guy I forgot, and then a retired baseball player. Of course, the baseball player won. He's a retired baseball player. He got like 9 home runs. Jumaane got like 3. I got 1. What are you gonna do? Anyway, I can still hit a home run anyway. Doesn't matter. In any case, if that happens, Jumaane Williams, who is the public advocate, steps in as mayor, but he's only a temporary mayor. According to New York City law, at this point, there must be a special election. It must happen within 80 days. It must be the first Tuesday of a month within 80 days, which means probably the first Tuesday in January is my assumption. It will be a nonpartisan race because of New York City law and ranked choice voting. That's how New York City works. You'll get a ranked choice voting, nonpartisan. The hard part is you're going to have to get 7,500 signatures in a couple of weeks. That's the hard part. If you can't get that, you can't get on the ballot. If you're a member of the Democratic Republican Party, half. What a coincidence that is. You see the same BS when it comes to ballot access? If you are a Republican or a Democrat, you need 3,750. If you're independent, you need 7,500. Why? Because go to hell third parties. That's the reason. That's the reason. Because go to hell third parties. So if I'm able to, in theory, if he does resign in a week or two, and if that does happen, and I'm able to get 7,500 signatures, valid signatures, which means like 10,000, 20, 15,000, something like that, I'll be able to be on the ballot as independent for mayor in a ranked choice voting event. So this could happen. This could happen. So thank you for that. Guys, by the way, if you like what I'm saying, I hope you do. I'm giving you insight into how things work, as you hear me always do it. I'm giving you a reality of how things actually work. And I'm going to give you historical precedent on how you saw things happen, right? It doesn't change. This is always, always about power. Every single time, it's about power. And the more you understand that, the better you can use it to your advantage. The better you can understand what's going to happen, the better you can predict. A lot of people get surprised. Larry, you predicted everything. You predicted all these things. Yeah, because power. That's the reason why. People go, no, but the policy. They don't care about that. No, but they don't care about that. It's about power. That's number one. The rest is all just things happen, but number one's always power. How do we keep the powerful people in line? That's the critical piece. So, by the way, if you like this, then click the button known as like. Pick up your bald fist and smash that button. Use your pinky knuckle and smash. I don't use whatever. Use what you want to use. Use the things to click the button that is like. If you don't, how am I going to grow? How are people going to see this? How are people going to learn how power corrupts everything if you don't do that? Why are you so selfish? Click the button that is like. Also, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please share this. It does matter. X, share it, repost it, re-exit, whatever the case may be. If you're watching on Larry Sharpe YouTube, why haven't you subscribed? Do you hate me? Why would you hate me? I don't hate you. Well, some of you maybe, but most of you I don't. And you don't even know if I do. I'll lie, right? No, sadly, I don't lie. That's the worst part. I wish I did lie. I'd probably get more people to watch me if I did lie. That's my problem. So you got problems. I got problems. Mine's I'm not willing to lie. I probably should. Anyway, click the subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, it does matter. If you want your chat to go to the front, super chat me. If you happen to be on Larry Sharpe YouTube, super chat me so it goes to the front. You can also become a member if you want to. I try to put members to the top. Members, click that join button. It's $5 a month. You're going to see my very handsome mug, say very smart things, and sometimes funny things too. Look at that, 3 for 1. Not a bad deal, everybody. 3 for 1. Stop getting greedy. That's good enough. 4 for 1. What's wrong with you? 3 for 1's good. Do that. Get your $5. You move on. So that's why that matters to me, Liberty Lady. It is possible that I could jump on board and that. And you might go, Larry, can you win that election? Probably not, but maybe. It is ranked choice voting. Maybe it's possible. Ranked choice voting, maybe. So it's possible. But if I lose the election, I'm still ready for the election next year. That's a special election. That means right after, there's another one. Next November. Just primes me for the next one. It's like I'm trying to speed run. Playing Minecraft. Speed running. See that? Speed running to get to kill a dragon. How do I know that? I got kids, man. That's how I know. I got kids. No Minecraft. What's wrong with you? Of course. Yes. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these if I could. Nice big super chat. Pete's Logic. Thank you so much for $100. I appreciate it. Larry says, hit the like button. I agree. Larry, good man. Orange man, bad. LOL. I hit the like button. Larry says, if you don't hit the like button, you must hate him. There we go. I agree. See that? Send XDM to you, Larry. You're in DC. No response. Do you hate me? No, I am overwhelmed putting together stuff for my DC trip. That's where Peace Logic knows that's where I'm going to be this weekend. So I'm not going to have a show. And I am trying to, I already have 2 dinners scheduled. I'm a political consultant. Do you think I won't have a bazillion people to meet in DC? I have too many to meet. So it's actually made me think something, Peace, to bring this up to you. It's a good point. I need to travel to DC more often. It's not that bad. For me, I'm in New York. It's a couple hour train ride in Excella. I need to spend more time in DC, and I don't, right? This gave me a reason to go, which was wonderful, but I should just be doing it more often. So thank you for this. You're right. I'm gonna maybe take another trip in a couple of weeks just to get down there. There's lots of people I should be meeting down there, and I haven't. I meet media up here in New York when I also have to meet other people. That's what I will say. Influencers. How about that? Influencers in DC. Absolutely. So yes, I don't hate you. Thank you for the dollars. I will next time I come down for sure. Yes, he's correct. I am heading to DC. He is right. Absolutely true. Yes. All righty. So Matt says, I'm here. Thank you. Oh, also, thank you for being a member, Matt. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you being a member. Lynn is here. Hi, Lynn. Glad you are here too. Absolutely. Always good to see you guys. Pinkerbell's here too. Everybody's here. The AC's here. Of course, the AC's here. I do appreciate all you guys. Really, I do. It is amazing. You guys keep popping up. I do appreciate that. So yes. All right. Let me grab a couple of these. Charles Belay is in the house. My brother, how are you? He says the list will continue to grow if our justice system is just. Well, sadly, it is not. But the list may still grow. But it won't grow because our justice system is just. It may grow because more people step out of line. That's the problem, Charles. You are correct. Charles Belay, by the way, a great guy, ran for president for the Libertarian Party nomination here this year. And, you know, I think he has a future. Good guy, smart, savvy. If you can follow him over at Belay, Ballay 2024 on X, you should do so. So, yeah, I agree that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, that would be a wonderful thing. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. We'll see. So, Dave asks, is Mayor Adams going to jail? I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. My gut says he'll make some kind of deal. That's my gut, that he'll make some kind of deal that will keep him out of jail. I think he's going to be convicted. I do. I think he's, I mean, again, there's a chance he makes a deal, but I think his deal that he has to make, in my view, probably includes a conviction. So I think he'll be convicted for something, is my gut, but I think he won't go to actual jail. I don't think so, but he might. We do. New Yorkers do put our guys in jail. Our guys have gone to jail. So it does happen. I don't think Adams will. Also, one of the reasons, it's going to sound crazy, but he's a former cop, right? That does matter. A former cop, that does matter. It does matter. So my gut says he makes some kind of deal. I don't think charges go away. I don't think so. My gut says make some kind of deal. He takes some kind of conviction that does not include jail time. That would be my assumption what will happen. But could he? Yes. There is a chance he can go to jail. I think no. Mike goes, Adams is toast. Okay, Mike. Forget that Dems don't care about the corruption of money. He was vocal against policies, and that is, and that's punishable. Yes, Mike, that was my whole point. I agree with you completely. That's the number one reason. He didn't play the game. He did not play the game. 100%. Yes, absolutely. So John says, will his family that he was so generous to bestow with jobs going to stay in those positions? Yeah, that will be up to the new mayor, right? Those positions are appointed. So in theory, Jumaane could keep them. He could, in theory. I doubt he will, right? I know Jumaane a little bit. I'm not like his bestie, but I know him a little bit. Jumaane is further left in his politics than Adams is, and he'd probably want to put further left people into those positions. So my gut would say no, he'd remove them and put his own people in, is my assumption. Plus, Jumaane's been around politics for a while. He has a lot of friends, people who he knows, political people. So I think he would probably, I think he'll replace them all. That's my gut. So yes. Dave asks, who's the vice mayor, deputy mayor? That's Jumaane Williams. And the title we have in New York City is not deputy or vice lieutenant. The title is public advocate. That's the title of that, but it's the same as what you just said. Yes. So, let's see. Michael says, supposedly the arrest of Eric Adams has something to do with Sean Combs. I don't think so. No. The problem is there is some stuff that's bad, meaning that he gave him like 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think 2 years ago, he gave him the key to the city. Boy, did that not age well. That did not age well. Eric Adams thought he was super cool guy and he was going to have Diddy show up in New York, and he gave him the key to the city. I'm not making this up. I'm not joking. Literally, he gave him the key to the city. I know. You're like, Larry, you kidding me? No. I wish I was. I am not. Yes, absolutely. So Mike goes on to say, it doesn't matter if he's innocent. He's an example. This part is true. Yes, Mike, you're totally correct. This is about control and messing with the plan to make illegal citizens and control voting, as Harris said it is the plan on MSNBC interview. Not as clearly as that, but yes. But yes. Pete, there you are, brother. There you are. In case you guys don't know, we got a problem in this country. Some of you aren't paying attention. And that problem is our debt. It is bad. And as Pete has posted, 35 trillion, 296 billion, 367 million, $284,952.26. And as always, as I said it got higher. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. All right. Matt goes on. Yeah, two Michaels both saying the same thing. He was not happy about the migrants coming. He was not. Both you Mikes are correct. That was a problem. Not total line. That you can't do that. You can't do that. Pete goes on to say, what's your favorite Harris policy? Mine is that she grew up in the middle class. Does she have any other policies besides that one? I think that's the only one she has, right? Oh, no. Freedom and joy. My favorite policy, Pete, is freedom and joy. And anyone who doesn't like Harris, why do you hate freedom? Why do you hate joy? I don't understand why you hate them. Pete, why do you hate freedom? Why do you hate joy? What has it done to you? You're just a bad person in general. I know. Freedom and joy. That's my perfect policy. Now, ask me to explain that policy. You will be freer with more joy. See? I did it. You hate freedom. Done. See? Easy day. Morgan says nepotism exists everywhere. People look out for their friends. Yeah, hear me on this one. I don't like nepotism, obviously, but I get that it happens. I do. What I actually liked about Eric Adams, I mean, there are very few things I like about him, but I know some of you get mad at me when I give some of these bad people any good traits. But I want to be honest. I want to be forward. I want you to hear that sometimes people do something good, and when they do something good, we should reward them, right? With yay, well done, with kudos. You did something good, yay, right? Even though you did 85 things bad, you did the one thing good. Okay, the 85 were terrible, but this one thing was good. Okay. I actually respected his honesty, Morgan. I did. I respected the fact that he openly said to the press, because they were messing with him when he first came on board, that's your sister, that's your brother. And he was like, yes, so they all do it. Stop it. Stop it. They all do it. You didn't get mad at Bloomberg when he did it. You get mad at de Blasio when he did it. When he put his wife in charge of stuff. Not de Blasio put his wife in charge of like $1 billion or something like that, and she lost it. I forgot the story. It was something like that, right? No, I was fine. He was like, stop it. We all do it. I'm doing it too. And I was like, okay, like, I get it. He's not wrong. So I did give him credit for that, and I will always give him credit for that, even though he's a terrible mayor, and I hope he doesn't win again. And he was still better than de Blasio. Everybody's better than de Blasio. Everybody. It does not matter. You picked a random person from a random country on a random street and said, you are mayor of New York. That person is better than de Blasio. So literally there is no bar to get over. Just be a functioning human being and you are better than de Blasio. So Eric Adams is better than de Blasio because he is a functioning human being. Done. But not by much is what I'm saying. Like, he just got over that non-existent bar. Just got over it. So I think we can do better. A whole lot better than him. Now the person to beat Adams must be at least a little bit more than a functioning human being. I mean, not much more, but they must be more than that. Prior, that's all it took to beat de Blasio. It was it. That's all it took. So yes. Peace Logic, thank you again for the $5. What do you think about this Sunday event in DC? What kind of turnout can we expect? For those you don't know, there's going to be two events. If I can get both of them specifically, both will be at noon in DC near the Washington Monument. So if you happen to be in DC near the Washington Monument, you can get there. If you can do that, there will be two events this weekend. On Saturday, there will be the Rage Against the War Machine in DC. That will be at noon, again, by the monument. And then on Sunday, there'll be the Rescue the Republic event, also in DC at noon. It looks like the Rescue the Republic event will be much bigger. I'm not sure of that, but it looks that way because of the heavy hitters going to be there. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is going to be there. RFK Jr. is going to be there. Oh, my God. Brett Weinstein is going to be there. I mean, tons of heavy hitters. You can check out, is it rescuetherepublic.com? I'm not sure where it is, but it's called Rescue the Republic. If you just Google Rescue the Republic in DC, you'll see the lineup. If you see Rage Against the War Machine DC, you'll see the lineup. The lineup in the rescue one, I'm sorry, the lineup in the Rage Against the War Machine on Saturday isn't as many heavy hitters as it is for the Sunday. The Sunday one is a lot of heavy hitters. So we're talking tens of thousands of people will show up. Tens of thousands. They hope for 100,000. That seems like a lot. I mean, I hope they're right. That'd be amazing. But I would expect tens of thousands to show up. That'd be my exception. So a lot of people are going to show up. So yes, if you want to go there, tens of thousands should show up. So hope that answers your question. I will not be speaking there. I won't. Yes, I will not. Yes. Okay. We grab a couple more. All righty. More questions here. Pete asks, is government the entertainment division of the military industrial complex? Pete, look at you. Look at you with the jokes. Nicely done. Absolutely. Nicely done. Yeah, I think that's true, but they're also the enforcers. So it's kind of weird. They're both the talent and the bouncer. So kind of a weird combo. They're both talent and bouncer. They're both of them. I know, really, really weird, but absolutely true. So yes. All right. Pinkerbell says, God forbid she campaign. Why would Harris campaign? I'm just being serious. Why would she campaign? I mean, you can go on the easiest, simplest shows that will just kiss your butt all day, pet you all day. You can just do that and then hope that your people show up. Why would you go? She goes on campaign. She might get in trouble. I mean, she does go on campaign. She actually did give. To be fair, she did. She went and she did an economic. If you saw that, an economic presentation 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago, whatever it was. A personal economic policy. Yes, I'm using air quotes because it wasn't that. It was basically middle class and tax credits. And I'm a middle class person, as Pete said, and freedom and joy for 45 minutes. I wish I was joking. I was just gonna play it. I decided not, because the first 15 minutes were insanely boring. It was just her talking about how she grew up. Blah, blah, blah. It was an economic issue and how people have to have what is the phrase she always says? You got to have the enthusiasm or whatever you got to have. It was terrible. She doesn't have an economic policy. She doesn't. It's just her economic policy is basically orange man bad. That's it. Orange man bad. Mike brings up, thank you, Mike. Harris has 3 talking points and orange man bad. Correct. That is an accurate statement, Mike. You are correct. And whenever she has a problem, like it doesn't fit the 3, she falls back to orange man bad. Like orange man bad is the fallback, right? So what about your policy on this? Damn, I don't have one. Well, Trump's policy sucks, and here's why he's bad and evil and all the bad things. Yeah, absolutely. David says, since Combs is the key to the city, does that mean we have to change the locks? We better change them. We better change them, and change them fast. Absolutely. Yes. Roger says, did you see Adams hiding behind the old civil rights era blacks while... Yes. So good, Roger. So I'm glad you brought that up. So good. All right. For those who don't know, let me read this up, and then I'll go what Roger's talking about. For those of you who haven't seen it. He goes, did you see Adams hiding behind old civil rights era blacks while blacks under 50 in the crowd was calling them out? One of the women was literally 92 years old. Roger is not wrong. He is exactly correct. He saw it. So did I. The woman was literally 92 years old. The preachers were all in their 70s or 80s. I'm not exaggerating. 70s or 80s. Roger goes on to say, older blacks completely sold us out with their vote blue no matter who politics. Yes. And they had trouble. Roger, on the money, brother. They had trouble finishing the press conference because the younger blacks in the audience and outside kept screaming, lock him up. You sold us out. Blah, blah. Kept screaming at him. So literally had to go. Eric Adams had to say, there's a 92-year-old woman speaking. Stop. And they were like, we don't care. Brr. They didn't care. It was bad. Roger saw it. So did I. It was terrible. Absolutely, it was terrible. Yes. Totally horrible. So is it Catholic? Yeah. God First 33. Hi, Larry. I'm a new follower on X and YouTube. Thank you. I need all the follows I can get. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Yes, that's great. So yeah. Alexa says her mom raised her and her sister guys. Why are you forgetting that one? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, her mom raised her. Yes, that to be forward with that. This is an issue in the black community for many people. And if you have a lot of black friends, or you live in a black community, or you're around the black community a lot, you may know this already. But there are a group of black people, specifically younger ones, who feel like she's not black enough. I get it. I get that too. And we get it for the same reason. She wasn't raised by a black mother. Me too, right? I openly say that. I was raised by a black father, not by a black mother. So that is a difference, right? Being raised by a black mother is different than not being raised by a black. There's different. I'm not saying it was better or worse, not saying that, but within the black community, there is some of that. There's also colorism, right? Being lighter skinned versus darker skinned. It's in the world, obviously, and also in the black community too. Those two things do exist. And so she does struggle with that in both ways. Obama did too. Obama was not raised by a black mother. He was raised by a white mother. And she was raised by an Indian mother. So that does change the view of some people in the black community. It absolutely does. Another thing is Obama and her, neither of them are actually, they're actually not ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. They're not that. They're not descendants of slaves. So I am, though. That one I got. That one I get. I get that checkbox. The other one I don't get. But I get that checkbox. That I do get. So yeah, because I am a descendant of slaves. I'm black on my father's side. So I am absolutely a descendant of slaves. But others, sometimes they are not. So it all depends upon how you see that. So I'm glad you brought that up. But people do think about that. And does it change how they vote? I think for some people it does. I think some people in the Black community, I think it does. For some people, it does. I think most people don't care about that. I think most don't. But again, this election could be won on the margins. And if that margin, is that short, it could be. Michigan, imagine Michigan. How short they be? Pennsylvania. What if a bunch of young Black men specifically, but also women, but heavily men, decide, no, she's not one of us. We don't care about her. We'll go on Trump. What if that happens? That could be, in theory, how Trump wins Pennsylvania. That could happen. You never know. So yeah, you never know. So any case. All righty. Let's see if I can walk down some more of these questions. AOC used to be a bartender. Does she support tax on tips? She has not been for no tax on tips. She has not been on that train. But she might now, because Harris says it. She might change her mind. So it's possible she could. So Peace Logic again. Thank you for $10. For those conflicted about voting Trump but love RFK, can RFK trust Trump? Can RFK really make a huge difference with Trump, or is he delusional? This is a tough one. It really is. For weeks, I have been saying I'm skeptical. I'm not sure if it's true or not, to be very forward with you. Only because, to be clear, and people who are RFK fans ask this, how many times have you heard Trump actually say any RFK Jr. talking points? If I see more of that, I'm more apt to believe. I hope that makes sense, right? If I see more of that, if I see more of that on his website, which I don't, if I see more of that in his speeches, which I don't, if I see more of that at his rallies, which I don't, I would feel more comfortable about this. That has to be the key. He's got to be able to say, yes, he doesn't talk about Maha, none of that stuff. And if you look at the two things where you see, what I do like is Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. are out more. That I like. I do. They're going to be there Sunday. He's not. He's not going to be on stage with them. Right? When there was the National State of Health Summit that was in D.C., obviously a bunch of people were there. RFK Jr. was there, a bunch of people. Trump wasn't. Trump surrogates weren't. So I do worry, Peace Logic. I do. I am concerned about this. I want to see more. And it's possible he's delusional. It's possible. But to be very forward, even if he is, say he's delusional and Trump's just going to screw him over. Say it's true. All right? I mean, how can we know till it happens? Say it's true. He at least has been able to get this message out like there's no tomorrow. He's been able to push it in many places. And a lot of people here. This summit comes because of this, right? And people should be talking about the most important issues, which are fixing our family, which fixes our community, which fixes our nation. And part of fixing our family is healthier families, right? Healthier families. That's an important thing. And I'll go back to something that may sound odd, but I said it in one of my previous shows. You might care about the war in Ukraine. You might care about the war in Israel. You may have friends or family in Ukraine. You may have friends or family in Israel or in Gaza. You might have friends, and that might affect you directly. You might have soldiers or sailors who you're afraid are going to head over there and fight. Okay, could affect you. You might care. Okay, good point. Could. You might care about other things that are going on in the world. You could. But no matter what, whether you have friends or family, whatever the case may be, all of us, every single person listening to this, watching this, knows either personally of someone with addiction problem, someone with mental illness problem, someone with a chronic illness problem, whether it's diabetes, heart disease, whatever, or it's you, right? Either you have been through that or someone you love has been. There's no one listening here who either they haven't been through it or someone love has been through it. That affects everybody. The issues that RFK Jr. is speaking about affect every single family, every one of them. There's no exception, right? Every American goes, oh yeah, that was me or someone I love. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's why this is so important. So I think your concern is a valid concern, one which I have too. And I have to see more of that. I've got to see Trump website, Trump himself talking, JD Vance talking maybe about it, somebody. Right now, it seems like it's two separate campaigns, right? It seems like two, like Tulsi and RFK Jr. running one campaign, and then he's running the other campaign. That's what it seems like right now. I'm not happy about that. So I hope that answers your question, even though it might not be great, but I do think, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Chosen Juan, thank you, says thoughts on rumors of reports that Cuomo's looking for mayor run. He is. There were two things he was looking at running for. One was senator, and the second was mayor. Both of those he was considering going for. He would never run for Congress. It's too low for him. He would never do it. He'll either be a senator, which is a senior position, or he'll be a mayor. That's a senior position. He might go one of those two. Or he might run he might still run for president coming up here. It's possible. But he went down to D.C., was it 2-3 weeks ago, and got slaughtered. I mean, just got slaughtered badly on the grandma-grandpa thing. Just got slaughtered on it badly. So I do think there's a chance that he may not want to do either of those. Special election, the question is, does he think that he's got a shot to run in a special election? Here's the problem with the special election. If I run in a special election and I lose, what are you going to do? I'm prepping for my next one. We're good. I'm an independent guy. It's good. No worries. I get 10, 20%. Amazing. I'm a god here as a libertarian. You kidding me? Great. He runs here and loses, he's finished. If he runs in a special election, he has to win. He can't not win. He can't be beat by somebody. He can't be beat by Jumaane Williams. Can't do that. So that is the worry about him running in a special election. Is he prepared to gamble? It is a big gamble. But if Cuomo were to gamble and run in a special election and win, he's the next mayor. Like, he will be mayor for the next 10 years, 12 years, whatever. He'll be mayor for the next 10 years, right? If he actually wins, he'll be mayor as long as he needs to be. Until he decides to run for governor again or senator or president, whatever, he'll be mayor for the next 8 years, guaranteed. If he were to win this election, and he knows that. The problem is if he loses it, he's done, period. Like, his career's over. You can't lose to Jumaane Williams and be like, I'm a player. Doesn't work. No one give money more. He's done. That's the problem with being, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a whole lot more problems being independent, but there is a problem being mainstream. If you're mainstream, you must perform, or there's 25 people behind you ready to take that spot. Not that many libertarians ready to run for mayor. Not that many. So I kind of got that one down. But you're a Democrat, tons of people waiting for that. So yes, he's looking for both. My gut says he will not run the special election unless he thinks it's a done deal. And Jumaane Williams is popular. He could win the special election easily. He could do it. So, and it's ranked choice voting. So again, Jumaane Williams is going to be most people's second choice, if they're not first choice. Most second choice. And he's going to be the current mayor. So he's going to be the incumbent. So if I'm Cuomo, I don't run for mayor until next year. Like, I might run next year when I have a full year to campaign, to call Jumaane Williams names, all that kind of good stuff. That I might do. So yeah. But the issue is, if I'm Cuomo and the establishment, and I don't want Jumaane Williams, by the way, the establishment does not like Jumaane Williams. He's too far left for them. He's not an establishment Democrat, right? So he's too far left for established Democrats. They don't like him. So the establishment would rather Eric Adams not step down, right? Just go to court, be broken, be battered, so you can't win in a primary, and then an establishment Democrat can win in a primary. That's what they would like to have happen. In their perfect world, he stays on, broken and battered, and then loses in the primary. That would be the goal. That's what established Democrats would like to have. So yes. All righty. Grab some more of these if I could. All righty. Let's see. John says he was in a game of Duel Monsters and laid the black card down and is sending his critics to the shadow. Oh, nice. I like that. He's sending his critics to the shadow realm. Nicely done, John. I appreciate that. Very nice. I love that. Yeah. All righty. Let's see if I can grab these here. All right. The Anticover says, I like this commentator. He's very informative. Is that me as the commentator? I hope it's me. Could be somebody else, though. Could be. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Kim says, I clicked the magic button when my magic wand. That'll do. 100%. That will absolutely do. Yes. That will absolutely do. Yes. Oh, got it. He's doing the bots that attacked us. Yes, we have bots. I don't think we have bots tonight. I don't think we have bots. We had bots yesterday. I don't think we have bots tonight. Yeah, the bots. I'm a great guy. You're a great guy. I love it. Love that. Yes. Yes. And Missy says Larry has merch. I do have merch. You can go to larrysharpe.com/shop or go to Zazzle. Both work. Absolutely. You can get shirts like this and other shirts and other hats and other cool things. Yes, you can. Lots of them. Yes. So, All right. Joel says, do you wear chest high waders, just hip boots in DC? I go in raw, brother. I go in raw. Just go in a swamp. I don't care. I go in with boxers, and that's it. Bare hand, bare knuckle. I'm not playing games, Joel. What's wrong with you? I'm not playing games. Going right in there. 100%. 100%. All righty. Kim says, Larry, you can thank me for the $100 chat. I said hit my like button with the magic wand. Don't miss that. Yeah, that's what happened. The magic wand made it happen. I appreciate that. That's great. I love that. 100%. Absolutely. So the AC says, I like you, Larry. I dig the don't give up New York hats, but I don't pay $40 for hats. Yeah. Oh, for those of you who want merch, to be clear, it's expensive. You're correct. But the reason why it's expensive is the money goes to the campaign. That money goes directly to the campaign. That's the reason why. So yes, you're actually giving a $40 donation to the campaign and getting a hat for free. If that makes any sense. That's why. The merch at LarrySharpe.com is for my eventual governor run in 2026. So that's why it's expensive. To be clear, if you go to the merch store, it is expensive. Please don't think it isn't. It is absolutely expensive. But the purpose is it's there to raise money. That's the goal. The whole purpose is to raise money. The merch store is to raise money for a governor run in 2026. So yes, if you go there and think, why is it expensive? Because it's raising money for the campaign. You're not buying a $40 hat. You're giving a $40 donation and you're getting a hat for it. So I hope that makes sense. If that should clarify why that's there, right? That's what it makes. So, all righty. Ken, how are you? He says, I have a candidate for Monday with the incumbent state Senate rep. Any advice? Holy cow. That is a very broad question, my friend. General rule, whenever you're in those types of events, two things you should focus on. One, why didn't you fix it when you were there? Right? Option number one for anything that's a problem. And two, focus on outcomes. So focus on what you want the outcome to be rather than the way to get there. And then focus on why that person didn't do it already, whatever is the thing. I know that's kind of broad, but it's a broad question. But generally speaking, when you're up against an incumbent and you're an independent, that tends to be your best strategy, right? Your best strategy is like, why didn't you do it, right? You're talking trash. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? Why are people unhappy? Why do I have to run? That tends to be one of the best things. So yes. All righty. The AC says, if you resign, can you do it that as part of course, yes, but not officially. Yes, that's part of the deal, not part of the plea bargain. So yes, you can, right? Absolutely. You just make a deal. Yes. If the deal is known throughout the people who matter, the deal will usually be accepted and done effectively, right? Because then other people don't trust you. So when the Democrats across the country made the deal with Cuomo that he wouldn't be prosecuted, they dropped charges. I mean, in theory, they could have said, ha ha, joking. They could have, right? There's no way to enforce that. But if that would have been done, everyone who agreed to it, no one would trust them anymore. And they'd lose all their political power. So if I say, resign, you'll see charges will be dropped. Just take the heat for the butt grabbing. And the charges will be dropped. You'll be fine. If I say that and then don't do it, everyone's gonna be like, I can't trust that other guy. That guy's gonna screw me over. I lose all my political capital. Right? So remember, this is the mob. This is the mafia. Your rep is everything. Your reputation is everything. Right? Why do Republicans still come after me? Why do they still want me to run for office? Why? Why do they want me to become a Republican? Why would they in New York State? Why the hell would they? I've been against Republicans for 8 years now. Is it maybe more? Whatever it's been, 10 years now. Wow, since 2014. Right? Trying to make independent parties. Why would they? Because even though they don't like what I stand for as a libertarian, they still trust me. They don't lie. When I make a deal, I keep a deal. When I talk trash, I do it openly. They know it. That's one thing they'll do. So I still have a rep. They don't like me, but I still have a rep. I hope that makes sense. So yes, you can, but it's not really part of it. So yes. Lynn, thank you for being a member. I donated to Rescue the Republic in Washington, D.C. Will you be there? I will. I will be at Rescue the Republic. I'll be the audience though. I will not be speaking. So yes, 100%. Joseph says, public advocate, is that sarcastic? What was supposed to happen? 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 What was sup Joseph, is the public advocate was supposed to be somebody who would push the mayor, right, to help the people. I'm not sure that's true, but that's what was supposed to happen. Andrew goes on to say, public advocate sounds like a press secretary. Yeah, it kind of does. Absolutely. Tony V, how are you, brother? Love that picture of you and your young lady there. Sup, Devil Dog? How are you, brother? Good to hear from you. I'm glad you're out there. Good to go. So, all righty. Phil says, have you ever seen Eric Adams in the drug video? It's a lot. Yes, Eric Adams. This is a true story. Phil knows. He's seen this one too. A lot of New Yorkers know this. If you're not a New Yorker, you may not know this, but Eric Adams was also borough president, and he was also a state senator or state assemblyman. I think state senator. He was a state senator, Brooklyn borough president before he became mayor and cop. So he did a anti-drug video to help out parents because he cares. And he basically explained in detail how to search your kid's room. Not joking. Not joking. How to open up like the bunny heads of the stuffed animals, like all that stuff, like what drawer to go in, underneath stuff. Yeah, total video on how to do that. Yes, that's true. I do love that. That was very funny. 100%. Dave says, who was the last mayor of New York City council member to go to jail? Wow, it's probably been 100 years? More? It's been a long time. It's not a thing. That does not happen. New York City mayors don't go to jail. It's been at least 100 years. That's not a thing. It's been a long time. Yes, it is definitely a big deal now. We tend to not do that. It's not what we do. So, yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab this here. Joel says, Pete's right that economic plan of having been raised in a middle-class family should get her 100 million votes. Easy. Easy. 100% easy. All we have to do is just say, I'm a middle-class kid. Done and done. Checkbox. You are now my guy. Checkbox. There we go. Yes. So, all right. Let me see if I can grab a couple more of these. Guys, I appreciate all of these. This is great. Well, a lot of these. I appreciate this. Brian says, what can be unburdened by what has been? Harris translation, nothing matters. So don't worry about it for the last 3.5 years. Elect me and see how benevolent I will be. Yes. See, here's your problem. What you guys don't get is she will be a benevolent dictator. She'll be very good to us. She will give us, according to Joseph, freedom, joy, orange man bad, and dreams and aspirations. Do you have those? You don't. She will grant them to you. So be happy. She will absolutely grant those things to you, and everything will be great. So yes. Rachel Action says, hope everyone's doing well. I'm sipping green tea and chillaxing. Oh, smash like. Thank you, Larry, for your consistency. I really appreciate your efforts. Oh, guys, thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Yes, 100%. We do have to make sure that the more we do this, the more people are talking about these things. And that's what I really want. I want us having the conversation. Pete says the grift in New York and New Jersey is real. Brother, you are so right. Absolutely. You are so right. People don't realize how about it. Mendez, that's one of yours over in Jersey? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's terrible. It is terrible. It's so, and you wonder why the budgets keep going up, yet nothing gets fixed. The budgets keep going up and nothing gets fixed. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Pinkabell, she says, Larry, you shriek, orange man bad when Harris mentions Trump. She's campaigning against him. It's her job to contrast with the opponent. You are a consultant. You know this. Yes, hold on. Yes, you're correct. Look, Pinkabell, you're correct. The problem is if you're going to open or close with orange man bad, I'm in. Or just riff on orange man bad. I'm in. Trump does it, right? Trump, the communist Harris, whatever, communist Kamala, whatever he says. He does it too, but he doesn't do it as an answer to a question. And when he does, it looks stupid. During the debate, he did it a couple of times. What about this? Well, she's crazy. It doesn't work when you're answering a question. That's the difference, right? So I'm with you. Does she have to attack her opponent? Yeah, of course. I'm with you. She can orange man bad as an opening statement, closing statement, or when she's riffing at a campaign event, but she uses it as an answer to a question. That is my issue. And as I see a distinction there, I mean, some of you maybe don't think I'm wrong. I get it. But I don't like it when she uses it as an answer to a question. What's your economic policy? Trump did bad things. Trump made things worse. Trump was bad. That's not an answer. That's orange man bad. Now, if you're opening up your statement, hey, Vice President, Madam Vice President Harris, how are you? I'm doing great. Why are you running? I'm running because Orange Man bad, blah, blah, blah. Makes total sense. I'm not against that at all, right? My issue is she used it as an answer. That's the problem. I hope that makes sense. I hope you see the distinction and where my head is. So yes. Pete says, I think the ADOS and Black Mother thing is what Trump was referring to, albeit very hat-handed. You're right, right? What probably happened, and this, if you're not in the Black community or you don't know how many, I have Black family. If you don't have Black family, if you don't have any of that, and someone tries to explain it to you, you can really muck it up. You don't get it. You don't understand it, right? I get it. Why would you? Why would you? I'm sure Trump has no idea what this is. I'm sure he has no clue, right? No clue, right? I'm sure he has a Black friend. I'm sure he does, but he has no clue. So when they probably tried to explain to him, you're right. He probably screwed it up and said, is she Black or whatever? That was probably the best way he could handle it. I think you're absolutely right. Probably true. Yes. So 100%. Pete says, it's not looking good for us. Will we fall like the Roman Empire? My worry is yes. That's my worry. And why will this matter? We were very lucky when the last empire fell. Why? Because the last empire had a son, and the son took over the business. And that son was us. The British Empire had a son, the United States. So when the British Empire fell after World War II, America picked up the mantle. We got you, Dad. We're good. Took over the empire. Right? So the world didn't see a massive dark ages. Why? Because someone picked up the mantle and an empire still existed. We don't have a son. America didn't have any kids. We didn't have any kids. British Empire had a kid. We didn't have any kids. And not having a kid, who picks up the mantle? I don't know. So my worry is dark ages. That's my worry. I hope I'm wrong, but I do worry. And I worry that if we don't fix this soon, that we may be on a trajectory that we can't get off of. I am concerned. And also, when the Roman Empire fell, the people who were there didn't know the Roman Empire fell. Like later, historians said, oh yeah, it fell this date, right? But people say, well, that's when the barbarians ransacked Rome. For those who don't know, the barbarians ransacked Rome a couple times. But when they ransacked Rome, the barbarians thought, oh, we're the new Roman Empire. So they still thought they were the Roman Empire, even though they weren't. They were the barbarians or whatever they were, right? But they thought, oh, no, I'm sitting on the cool seat that Caesar sat in. So therefore, I'm now Caesar, right? Many of them thought they were still there. So the Roman Empire fell and didn't even know it fell. And the Greek Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, was like, I don't care what happens to you guys. We're still here. Constantinople was still here. So they just stayed. They just kept it. They're like, we're going to stay here for a while. They didn't fall to what, the 1400s? 14. Constantinople fell, what, 1450 something? 53? I think Constantinople fell 1453. Turks. Yeah. Ottoman Empire. Ottomans? Or Turks? I don't know. Were they Ottoman Turks yet? I think they were Ottoman Turks by then. So I think about Ottoman Turks who took Constantinople in 1450 something. I think 53. I could be off. But yeah, until that happened. Roman Empire, they say, fell around. That's why the Roman Empire fell between 450 and 475 AD, right? Depending on who you talk to. Again, same thing. Rome had been sacked more than once. The barbarians who went in and said, no, I'm the emperor now. So Roman Empire is still good because I'm on the throne. So yeah, absolutely. Joel says, that's a big mistake for Trump. Maha will get votes. Yes, yes, and yes. I am with you, Joel. Yes, I think that. Liberty Death says, Trump is going to throw RFK and Toast to the curb the second he gets in. If he gets in, he's clearly not listening to him. His debate, yeah. I'm worried is what I will say. Yes. Yes. Alexa says, he said, make America healthy again once so far, just once. Nice. I would like more, Alexa, but nice. I would like more. Yes, absolutely. So Joe says, Larry Sharpe for New York mayor. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. We'll see what happens. Look, if he actually steps down, then I'll be able to be part of that, special election. If he doesn't, there's always just running next year normally. There's always that. So yes, absolutely. So, all righty. Let's see. Senate is senior to Congress. It is, Becky. It is. It's senior for several reasons. For those of you who don't know, the Senate was not supposed to be elected on. That was an amendment that changed that. The Senate was supposed to be the higher house. We actually modeled our bicameral legislature. we modeled the same way the Brits have their parliament. They have the House of Commons, people get voted for, and the House of Lords, who are selected because they are lords for some reason, right? That's so the lords can check the commons. If the rabble rousers get out of line, they can check them. That was the whole purpose of that. And that system still exists in the Britain today. So you get too rowdy, the parents say, stop it, kids. They do that. We have the same thing. So our Senate, we didn't vote on. Our Senate was actually selected by the assembly of the state. So the state assemblies would be elected, and then they would select 2 people, and that's your senators. No voting on that. So that's the idea of being representative democracy. Now, senators are senior. Whatever bill comes to the House has to be ratified by the Senate. So the adults, like children. So the Senate is the senior house. Note, when you want to become a member of the cabinet, who says you can do it? The Senate, not the Congress, not you poors. The wealthy people do that. They changed it because it was, of course, everyone's selecting the right people to keep everything in check. And they made it the people now vote for the senators. That was not a thing. So yes, the Senate is senior to Congress. That's why a senator is 6 years, a congressman only 2. So a congressman is always every 5 minutes trying to get money for another election bid. Senators don't do that. Senators get their election. That's why J.D. Vance is chill. J.D. Vance is not rushing money for his own congressional. He's running for VP. Perfect timing for him. If he loses, he's got 4 more years to raise money for his next Senate run. So that's why he's like, fine, I'm happy doing this. I don't got to worry about it. I have 4 years to raise money after that. If I lose this thing, he's fine. J.D. Vance is a 6-year term. All the Senates are 6-year terms. So I hope that answers your question. So yes. Pinkerbo says, could Cuomo win another statewide race? Yes. Of course. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Roger says, hey, wait a minute. What happened to Cuomo when he went down to D.C.? He got grilled by Congress, and they beat him up. Liberty watched it. He goes, yeah, Cuomo got crushed by Congress. I watched it. I did too. I'm with you, brother. I watched it too. It did not go well, Roger. It did not go well. Absolutely did not go well. Yes. Pinkerbo says, I'm totally going to get a shirt. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do love that. Every shirt does count. Absolutely. Yes. She has, is it made in the USA? I don't know. I don't know. Pete says he's a Marine. Of course he goes in raw. Of course I am, goddammit. Brian says, raw dog Larry. Yeah. We'll take that out. Actually, the funny part is I remember a lot of training that I did in the Marine Corps when we had to go into rivers. We would sometimes use rivers to navigate. And using rivers to navigate is a pain, right? Because rivers do this. So instead of you going straight, you're doing this. But if you're following a map, following a river is really easy to get where you want to go. It takes you more time. And sometimes the sides of the rivers either could be too steep or aren't good. So you just walk in the river. You use the river as a road. As long as it's a fordable river, obviously. It's fordable, meaning that it's your waist or, lower. You just walk in the river. You get where you want to go. All good. So yes. All right. Let me see if I can keep going down here. Joe says ballot access is a lot of money. It is, right? If I need to get ballot access in New York City, they're not as bad. The problem is timing. I think I'll have a couple of weeks. Getting 7,500 when everyone else is trying to will also be hard. Because, of course, you can't double up and blah, blah, blah. It's only New York City residents. So it could be a bit challenging. But the reality of it is, it probably could be done 200 grand, which is a lot of money. But to do it, that's raisable money. Another thing about New York City, which is weird, is if you raise at least $250,000, there's matching funds. This is one of the reasons why Eric Adams stuff is so bad. I'm glad you brought this up. If Eric Adams took money, if this is alleged, if he took money from the Turks or the Chinese or the Qatarians, Qatarites, whatever you call people from Qatar, Qatarians, sounds like some space people, Qatarians. Qatarites is probably better. Anyway, people from Qatar, or any other place that they said Turkmenistan? Was it Uzbekistan? One of those two. If he took money from any of those, and then the state then gave, or the city then gave him taxpayer dollars, oh, that's like a double whammy. So taking it was illegal, and then taking the matching funds from the taxpayer, oh, that's double punch. That's terrible. So yes. All righty. Jonathan says, Zelensky spoke with Biden yesterday and Trump today. Do you think those two meetings went in the same way, or how were the conversations different? I am sure Zelensky is desperate and promising whatever he can. For those of you who are paying attention to the war right now in Ukraine, Ukraine is not winning. They are not winning this war right now. They've had some good victories here or there. They have, but at this moment, it is not looking good for them. They are losing all over. Their attack they made into the Kursk region is now beginning to fail, and the Russians taking it all back. Eastern Ukraine, they are losing on all fronts. Cities and villages are falling. They are not doing well at all. So the Ukrainians are not doing well. So if I'm Zelensky, what I'm looking for if I'm him is two things. One, can you promise you will throw everything and the kitchen sink at me like tomorrow? Like, can you do that? Number two, okay, if I have to leave, is there a country I can go to and so I can get some kind of safety? I'm not joking. Zelensky can't stay there and lose. It will not go well for him and his family. So he needs to find a place to go. Where can he go? Right? And it's not Poland. It's not Poland. I'm glad he speaks English because it'll be maybe Australia or something. I don't know, but it won't be there. So he has two choices. Will you throw everything into my country like tomorrow? Or where can I go into exile? Right? Which one? What can I do? When can I go to exile? Because I do not see that guy at all surviving if Ukraine loses this war. He's got to go someplace somehow. So yeah. And that's what I think that's what I think they'd be talking about. And I don't think it's different at all. I think Zelensky has the same needs. It doesn't matter who he's talking to, but he might be promising different things like, hey, Biden, I'll promise you a victory before, this or that, or I promise I won't collapse and make you look bad before November. He might do that, right? I'll hold on until November. And if, so you can do that, or maybe Trump the opposite, Oh, that's a good point. No, he doesn't want to. Maybe he'd be asking Trump for exile. Maybe that. Maybe because Trump seems to want to end this. So maybe. Yes. Joe's question, should I make white cheddar or classic cheddar mac and cheese? Classic cheddar. The answer is classic cheddar. So there we go. Sarah says, Larry, when we have shirts and hats? If I'm doing the mayoral run, not for a while, because I'll have to know if I'm doing it. He'll have to step down first. If he steps down, it'll be next week, probably, if he steps down. So it will be a week after that, I would assume. So yes. Sarah also asked, thank you for being a member, by the way, Sarah. Goes on to say, how does your radio show work, Larry? You always say Rochester. Why is it Rochester show if you live in New York City? Because I do it remotely. That's why. The station WYSL is a Rochester station. So it's right outside of Rochester. The physical building is actually in Avon, New York. The physical building is there, but it's right outside of Rochester. And so that's where it comes out of. So so since it comes out of Rochester, the terrestrial radio is like Western New York, parts of Canada, parts of Pennsylvania, right? Is where people can hear the show because it's an AM radio station. It's a terrestrial radio station. So you hear that. So that's why I would say Rochester, New York. That's where it's out of. Now I do the show out of my New York studio, and it's remote. So I'm physically in New York when I do it out of Rochester. That's why I say that. And the phone calls are going to the station in New York. I'm sorry, to the station in Rochester, and I hear them. That's why I actually have two screens up at the same time and two separate things coming in. One coming in my ear and one seeing there. That's why you sometimes you can hear the engineer talk because I live cast it online. So the commercials you hear are going on the terrestrial radio station. When you hear my engineer talk, he's talking to me because it's not going on the terrestrial radio station. It's only going to my ear, which I pump out to you guys. So you guys hear it raw. You hear everything raw. That's how that works. So I hope I answered that at least. So this Latina is for Trump 2024. I got to tell you, I think Democrats are surprised, and I'm surprised at Democrats for not seeing how many Hispanic, Latino, Black people are moving towards Republican Party. I'm surprised that they don't get it, right? I get it. I see it. The Democratic Party is becoming the party of only educated women, not of the working class. The Republican Party is picking these people up, and it should be obvious. So either they don't care or they're not noticing. I don't know, but you are not alone, my dear. You're not alone at all. Yes, absolutely. So Mike says, don't blame me. I voted for Sliwa. Yeah, I like Sliwa. He's a friend of mine. I think he's great. I like Sliwa a lot. Absolutely. Joe says, I feel bad for my New York City friends and their wallets when the commie Jumaane Williams takes over. Jumane's not a commie, but Jumaane is definitely more left-leaning, obviously more left-leaning than Adams is. Yeah, definitely, 100%. He's definitely more left-leaning. I totally agree. Yes. Joe says, British Empire had a lot of illegitimate children. Yes, that's true, but they had one child who became the empire. How about that? Yes. Became the empire. Yes. The AC says probably China. I don't know if China's ready to become imperial. I don't know. To be very frank with you, I don't know. I don't know if there will be someone. I mean, economically, maybe. I don't know. Thomas thinks so. He says China's empire in ascension. Is China ready to be a global empire? You know, I'm not sure. Right? I'm not sure. I feel like they're not ready because they're having internal issues. They haven't solidified stuff internally yet. But I could be wrong. I mean, I don't think Russia can be an empire. Russia, I think, has actually better chance in theory of being an empire because they're more militaristic. They have more things outside and around, but they're not economically ready to become an empire. I don't think there's an empire here right now. That's my point. I mean, maybe in 50 years, there's China or Russia or something, or us, or we come back somehow. I mean, that could happen, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't see it. That's all. I guess I don't see it. I don't see China. China does not have a massive blue ocean navy. Neither does Russia. How do you guard the straits? How do you guard everything? They don't have a tradition of empire outside of Asia. Right? They've only had empire within Asia. They've never had empire outside of Asia, and even not that great of an empire in Asia. Their imperial workings were much more about just say we're great, send us money, and we won't invade. That's kind of their history of empire. Their history of empire isn't massive conquest. If anything, the Mongols conquered them. So I don't see that. Russia has more of empire. Russia actually had colonies. It has a military tradition, an imperial tradition. So if anyone would be it, I would say Russia, but I don't think they're ready for it at all. I don't see anybody ready for it. So yeah. Joe says Ottoman until World War I. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ottoman Empire, but I knew it was until World War I. My question was it Ottoman in the 1400s? That I'm not sure when the Ottomans took ascension. Was that the 1200s? I don't remember. Andrew, 1453. I was correct. Look at me. Look at that. Iron Trap. Synesthesia. Iron Trap. Absolutely. 100%. There we go. Absolutely. So Thomas says Iran has aspirations of empire. Well, Iran has been an empire in the past. That's true. I think they have, but again, massive. I guess you look at Persian, huh? Maybe. Thomas goes on to say Russia's an empire in decay. Because Soviet Union. So then are they ready to reascend? Or is that not a thing, Tom? Right? Could they do that? Are they ready to reascend because of their history of empire? So I agree. They have a history of empire. That's true. And also they've had a history of colonies also. Alaska, most people don't know this, but we bought Alaska from Russia. So Russia did have a colony in Alaska. We did buy it from them. So maybe. I mean, it's possible. He goes, North Korea has delusions of empire. Yeah, but no. Yeah, but no. Alexa says, I would like more Larry. Thank you, Alexa. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Yes, I appreciate that. Yes. So Philadelphia says, you going to run for mayor, Larry? Maybe. It looks good. It does look good. Yes. Michelle says, conservative talk radio host brings up Curtis Sliwa for mayor. He ran before. Yeah, no. Look, I like Sliwa. I do. Nice guy. Met him. For those of you who don't know, he actually started the Guardian Angels in the 70s. I think in the 70s. He started Guardian Angels in the 70s. And he put his money where his mouth is. He put his body where his mouth is. He's been shot more than once. He's out there doing the work. He doesn't play games. 100%. People like him. People see him on the street. They recognize him. Yo, hey, go Curtis, all that kind of good stuff. But the problem here you have is in New York City. In New York City, it's 6-1 Democrat Republican. A Republican is not going to win the mayorship. It's not going to happen. It's not. So you have two types of people who will run. One, someone who is looking to do something further on. For example, you look at someone like Malinakis, Nicole Malinakis. What's her name? Is it? I think it's Malinakis, right? Nicole. She ran for mayor knowing she would lose, but she became popular because she wanted to become a congressman out of Staten Island. Well done. Worked perfectly. Well done. She's congressman. Good job. She knew she was going to win. That works. Or someone who says, I'll take the L. That was Sliwa. Sliwa's like, I'm 70-something years old. I'll take the L. All good. I don't mind. So this year, the same thing will happen. The Republicans either will put somebody up who's looking to make another step, or they'll take somebody like a Sliwa who'll take the L for everybody. Yeah, that's what it is. 100%. Yes, absolutely. Kim says, baggy boxer, no boots, Larry. They frown, just threaten to take your boxers off. See, you're thinking, Kim. You got the plan. You got the plan. I love that. Yes. John says, Zelensky and Netanyahu and other moochers. Massey is right. There's no more actual money. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But look, the point being here, I'm not mad at Netanyahu or Zelensky for asking for money. I'm mad at us for saying yes. That's the problem. If I'm them, I'd be asking for money too, right? If I'm Zelensky, I'm asking for money for everybody. Who got money? Give it to me. I need it. Who got bombs? I need them. Give them to me. Of course, I'm fighting a war. I'm not mad at him. He's doing what he thinks is right for him. I get it. We don't have to say yes, right? That's the issue. I get what he's doing. Okay, great. Lots of people want lots of things. Wonderful. I don't have to say yes to them, though. That's the difference. Joe says, I don't want to see U.S. troops in Ukraine. Me either. Me either. Me either. Joe says, maybe Putin will give Zelensky an island to govern. I like that. I like that. Very good. Yes, that would be amazing. I get what you're saying. I smell what you're cooking. I do. I smell what you're cooking. Yes. Brian says, according to Judging Freedom, Zelensky already owns a mansion in Florida, paid for with money siphoned off from what he sent to support his warfare. So maybe he's coming to Florida when this is over. That makes sense. That makes sense. That'd be great, right? I love that. Joel says, your mayoral petition signatures need to be New York City people. Yes, they do. 100%. Yes. The AC goes on to say, your engineer is loud AF. He gets excited. That's what I would say. He does get excited. That's true. Yes. 100%. All right. Yeah, Joel says he needs to do better. He's excited. It's all. It's fine. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Andrew says, who's actually a commie and who's just liberal left? Well, if you were to look at how we have decided who's a commie years ago, is basically anybody who wasn't a capitalist. But the reality of it is there is a communist party in America. There are actual communists in America who actually want total and actual communism. They do exist. They just a very small percentage of our population. They're actually smaller than libertarians. They're a small percentage. So that's why I know that in my chat, I have people who are actual socialists, modern day socialists, people in the chat who are actual communists. So I try to give them respect by not using the generic thought process of, if you're not a capitalist, you're a communist, right? And that's how most people still think. That was how we were taught in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s even. But nowadays, it is a little bit of a difference. So the liberal left is not necessarily communist. I think they're closer to communist. I think that's true. They are further left, but they're not. Actual communists, generally speaking, are looking more for anarchy almost. They're looking for they're actually looking for less government, looking for more control locally with the people, and they're looking for less capitalism, period, to include in the government everything. So it's a little bit different, if that makes any sense. We think of communists as dictators, but they don't necessarily have to have that. They don't have to have that. They can, but yes. Pete says, requesting a fall of the Roman Empire episode with Larry. Oh, okay. It's not bad. Joe says, China can just buy our Navy. You cannot, my friend. You cannot, right? Yeah, you cannot. Even if you buy it, the problem is, one, would the navies are built on tradition. Armies are not. And that's the difference. It's why you will always find naval forces, navies, Marines, naval infantry, whatever the case may be. They will always be more traditional. They'll always be more conservative. And that's every country. It doesn't matter. Navies are built upon tradition. They're not built upon just bodies. Armies are built upon bodies. That's how that works. So you could buy it, yes, but right now, if the American Navy went against the Chinese Navy, and if it was evenly matched, the American Navy would win. Not because the American Navy is better. I mean, it is, but in theory, in my theoretical thing I made, it's not, because the men fighting in the Navy will fight better because of tradition. I'm not making this up. That's true. You've seen it throughout history. So they will take casualties. They will fight harder. They will keep their ship afloat when they shouldn't. They'll do all the things that tradition will tell them to do. So you can buy a Navy, but it won't do anything. And not just that, you have another issue, which Marines are taught too, right? The Army isn't. It's crazy. I never forget this. You're taught to not give your equipment to the enemy. You destroy it. There's a thing called scuttling your ship. Scuttling means you blow it up so the enemy can't take it. So if all of a sudden they were selling the Army, they were selling the Navy to China, hundreds of captains would blow their own ships up. I'm not joking. That would literally happen. They'd be blowing their ships all over the place. They would never let Chinese have it. They just blow the ships up. You're not having it. I was taught, every Marine unit, if you're a Marine, you know this. You know this if you're a Marine. You have WP. What's WP? Willie Pete. Willie Pete. What's that? White phosphorus. It's very hot grenades. You keep those grenades. They don't blow up. They're white hot phosphorus. What do you use them for? You use them to destroy your equipment if you have to retreat. I'm sorry, fall back. You don't retreat, goddammit. You have to fall back. So if I have an artillery piece, I was an artillery piece, and I can't take it. Willie Pete, down the barrel, I'm out. That will burn and destroy everything, so they can't use it. My Humvee's there, Willie Pete, into the engine block, I'm out. It's gone, destroyed, can't use it, right? I will destroy everything. You're getting nothing from me, right? If I'm going to surrender, well, I wouldn't, but if I did, I'm destroying everything. You're getting nothing from me. We're taught this. This is also naval tradition. Navy does it too. I will sink my ship before you get it. You're not getting my ship. I will sink it first. I'll sink it. You're not getting it. You can't. You never. No, you're not sinking it. They will. So anyway, hope that makes sense at least. Pigbo says the commie smear loses impact when people use it to mean more left to me. Agreed. Which is why I try to not use it that way. I think you're totally right, Pigbo. I think communists of the 50s, the way we were taught is not. They aren't the same. They're different. Socialists too. They're different. And people think like AOC is a socialist. AOC is further left. That's true, but she's not a socialist. I mean, Harris literally says more than once, I'm a capitalist. I'm a happy capitalist. So she's not a socialist, right? But Waltz is closer to that. Waltz is close to a socialist than Harris is, for sure. She's definitely closer. So yes. All right. So I'll go down here if I can. Brian says, economically, yes, China is an empire in ascension. Look at the partnerships they forged in Africa and the places around the world. That's true. Yes, Thomas agrees. Says China has an economic foothold in Africa. I think that's true. But the issue is, though, you are also going to have something to enforce your contracts. Because if America isn't there, if there's no real effective UN, if there's no effective, international sections, what happens when the African nations go, yeah, we're not paying? And all the stuff that we said is yours, it's not. It's ours. We're just going to confiscate. Why happen to do that? Yeah, I know you bought this rail station, but we've decided you can't have it because we're a government and we have lots of guns. So no. So at that point, China has to have a navy to enforce its contracts. It has to have gunboat diplomacy, right? That's how economic empires in the world work. Gunboat diplomacy. That's how America did it. It's how the British Empire did it. They did it through gunboat diplomacy. So right now, the Chinese don't have gunboat diplomacy. It works because the world's pretty calm right now. So the African nations must do what they say because the rest of the world would actually agree. But if there's more anarchy in the world, not anarchy, chaos. If there's more chaos in the world, that may happen. So yes. Joel says, isn't Sliwa getting old? Yes. You're not wrong. Yes. Phil goes on to say, China had to pull back foreign investment because they over-leveraged their economy with debt. Also true. Yes. Absolutely. Also true. Another issue. I think China's not ready, guys. I do think China's not ready. And then some of you think but I think no. I think China's not ready for this at all. So, all righty. Joe says him and Trump can play golf all day. That'd be kind of fun, I'm sure. Yes. Philip says our Navy is overpriced and too expensive to maintain. Correct. Accurate. Yes, that is correct. Accurate. It is absolutely that. However, if I can go one step further though, our nuclear subs are freaking amazing. Just saying. Freaking amazing. Expensive, but oh my God, death machines. Like, oh my God, death machines. So Pete says nobody touches our boats. Pete gets it. That is accurate. Pete gets it. Nobody touches our boats. Yes. The AC says it'll melt anything. Correct. Yes, it will. 100%. Yes. 100%. That's exactly right. It will. Willie Pete's crazy. Yes. Mike says China's Navy is more than enough to overwhelm Southeast Asian nations and growing. Real question: will leftists uphold treaties like Japan, South Korea, and Philippines? Yes, but that's not a deep sea navy, though. You're correct. Southeast Asia, 100%. That's not a deep sea navy. And plus, in most of those areas, it's easy for them to physically invade. Right? They could physically invade many of those things much easier. Right? Having to cross the Sea of Japan. Hold on. Which one's on that side? Sea of Japan? I forgot which side. Is it the Yellow Sea? Whichever is the sea between Korea and Japan, having to cross, that's a whole lot easier than having to cross, to attack America or whatever, get across to Europe through Russia, whatever. It's a whole lot easier to do that. And then they have their Navy's not deep sea. So how are they going to say, for example, patrol the Pacific Ocean? Chinese can't do that. How are you going to patrol how are you even going to patrol the Indian Ocean? And that's critical for them. They can't do that right now. They're not there. Now, can they be there? Yes, they can, but not today. They have years before they can actually do that. Yes. So Brian says, if we sell the Navy, by default, we sell the Marines. Stop that, Brian. Now you can make me mad. Stop. Yes, no. We're not doing that. Yes. Liberty Death says, China has one aircraft carrier. Their Navy ain't S. Accurate. It's not there. Yes, accurate. Mike says, as for scuttling ships, remember that leftists gave up weapons and ammo bases worth $10 billion. Yeah, but that was also the Army. Just saying, it was also the Army. Take that, Army. Take that. Yes. But no, your point's well taken, though, right? I mean, if we have bad leadership, all of that collapses. I agree. Right? Right. Bad. Yes. Joe says, if you were forced to implement any principles from communism into your own political value system, which one would you choose? Well, I think people do sometimes pick voluntary communism within their own world, within their own families or friends or social groups. I think we sometimes do that. If I had to pick any, it would be the concept of direct democracy. If I had to pick any, it would be direct democracy. Now, democracy isn't great. I mean, it isn't perfect because it fails often. But if I had to pick one to be direct democracy, people say, what, communism is democracy? Yes, and that's my point. True communism has direct democracy. Now, the problem with that is if 51% of the people say, Joseph, you got to give me all your stuff, you got to give me all your stuff. That's the bad part, right? And communism also says people should get what they want because people agree to it. So I take Joseph's stuff. Why? Because we voted that Pete needs it. That's a part of communism I don't like, but that's communism. Communism does include democracy. And people don't get that because we think of communism just as dictatorship because in most government, it always falls to dictatorship. In most governments, it does. But the concept of communism is also direct democracy. So if I had to pick one, that's the one I would pick, right? If I had to pick one, that's what I would pick. I hope that makes sense. Dave says there are two communist parties in the U.S. There's Communist Party USA and there's the American Communist Party. There we go. There are absolutely communists. Yes. Phil says, I know some submariners bring people. Yes. And the AC says nuclear aircraft carriers. They're great. However, there's a however there. They are really big floating targets, number one, and they require an entire group around them to help support them. Subs just go underwater. See you in 6 months. Like, yes. Don't get me wrong. Aircraft carriers are amazing pieces of equipment. There's no doubt they are. They're amazing. And to sink one, oh my God. Like, you've got to hit with like, I don't know, 7 missiles to sink one. I mean, the thing does not it does not. Yes. However, it is a massive target, which requires a lot of help. A sub goes, thanks guys. See you in 6 months. John. And it's got nukes. And it's got nukes. So I'm impressed by aircraft carriers. I am more impressed by submarines. That's all I'm saying. I'm impressed by them, but more than that. So yes. Snork Y2K, thank you for the $5. Our new program basically gives 1/3 of our sub-program power to missiles launched from cargo aircraft. We now have Air Force subs in the sky. What? Please don't tell me that's wrong. Our new program basically gives 1/3 of our sub-program's power to missiles launched from cargo aircraft. We now have Air Force subs in the sky. I'm not sure I like that. Because again, a big thing in the sky is a big target. Underwater, come up, fire a couple of them, go back down, see you in 3 months. I don't know if I like that one. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't know if I like that one. Yeah. I don't think I like that one. Yeah. I'm not happy about that. I am not happy about that. Yes. Mike says, Yellow Sea and South China Sea. Thank you. Yellow Sea and South China Sea. Yes. And those are seas that have lots of small islands, right? Lots of small islands. Mike is correct. So you could do island hopping campaigns. The Chinese absolutely could East Asia and Southeast Asia, the Chinese could invade, take control, dominate, support, any of those things. I'm talking though larger, Pacific, Indian Ocean. They're not there for that. But yes, I think that's absolutely correct. Yes. All righty. Morgan says, wait, I thought Harris said there wasn't any American armed service members in active combat zone. Yes, and that was a lie. Correct. Yes, and that was a lie. And it says voluntary communism. What? Minus spending? Sure, 100%. Let's say people in my household, a lot of parents do this. They say, your daughter has a toy, and they go, that's the family toy. Anybody could play with that. Everybody owns it. No ownership. Right? That's voluntary communism. You're deciding in your own home to do so. Right? We are part of a church group, Pacific group. Everybody comes, everybody brings something, right? From those who can to those who need. That's communist theory, right? Absolutely. So you come into a church group, you come into a civic group, you bring more money because you're more wealthy. Someone who doesn't may take more, and everyone accepts it and knows it. That's how it works. And that's voluntary. And I don't mind that, right? You are choosing to join that group. You are choosing to have your family, and you are putting communistic ideas voluntarily into a world that you want. I have no problem with that. My issue is when it is forced. My issue is when you can't leave. My issue is when you can't say no, right? But you're deciding, and that's on you. We do it often. Humans are very communal and often voluntarily. The Amish, perfect example. We have it here in New York. Other places do, but I know it. We have it in New York, have it in Pennsylvania, obviously, right? The Amish, right? They don't require insurance. They've agreed. Your house burns down. You will take my labor. You should expect my labor to fix your house because you are unfortunate. My labor is expected. Yes, that's communist thinking, right? We all need housing. We will all build housing. If you guys have a child who gets married and requires a house, the community will build another house. They've agreed that. And that's voluntary. No worries about that. That's voluntary communism. But you can leave the Amish if you don't like it. You can decide no. You can just pack up and go. I have no problem. You see many, this is what libertarians talk about. Libertarians aren't anti-communism or anti-socialist. They actually aren't. They're anti-government communism, anti-government socialism, anti-government deciding you must be. That's the difference. So, yeah. I hope that makes sense. So, all right, if I can grab a couple of these here. All right. Phil says no aircraft carriers travel alone. That's my point. Subs do. I know. Look, I'm not like fighting saying aircraft carriers aren't good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I got to pick, I'm going with the sub. That's all I'm saying. Yes. See, Dave has the answer. Thank you, Dave. Dave knows what's up. He says those aren't combat troops. Those are advisors. That's what they are. See? That's why it's okay. That's why it works. 100%. That's all that matters. Guys, I've asked you before. I'm going to ask you again. Please, if you have not done so, click the button known as like with whatever digit you might have or appendage that you would approve of. Click it with that thing. I don't care. I'm not watching. So do whatever you want. I don't care. Any of them will work. If you're watching this on Twitter or Facebook, why aren't you sharing? Sharing is caring. You've heard it before. You know what the Care Bears do? They share because they care. So care. Your selfish thing, share this thing. What's wrong with you? Share it. If you have not subscribed, you basically hate America. That's what you just said. Subscribe. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, click the join or not join, the subscribe or the follow or whatever. Click the button that tells you that. If you don't do that, you hate America. I don't know why you hate America. What's done to you? Jealous of the carriers or jealous of the subs? Which one? Stop. Subscribe. Thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate it. If you want to help out long term, the best way to have me do more of this, click that join button. $5 a month. And I will keep doing this again and again and again until you're just sick of me. Won't that be amazing? That's what I will be doing. Yes. So please doing it. Please do it. Mike says, click with your fine. I'm not watching. Do your thing. I don't mind. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Joe says, I try to tell fellow libertarians at that point, we aren't anti-rules. We're anti-government rules. Correct. Yes, we're anti-government rules. Yes, absolutely. If you want to do it on your own, you absolutely may. Snork Y2K becoming a member. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Membership is critical. Need more of them. Thank you for that help. It really does matter. Yes. Joseph says, oh, see, their dreams and aspirations troops. Way different. Way different. 100%. Way different. That makes it better. Or they could also be freedom and joy troops. Both would be amazing. I would love both of those types. I think that will be amazing. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Stark Y2K says, the Amish are going wild out here. They are building fast and basically making their own town with stores, lumber yards, shoe stores, window stores, steel building supplies. Yes, and it's fine. All right, there's nothing wrong with people who decide they want to join this. 100%. Yes. Mike says, communism adopted far older principles found in Judeo-Christian society. The principles aren't communist, just co-opted with good PR to make it sound original. Direct democracy is Greek. A lot came from the Greeks, and the Romans. So I don't know. A lot of it mixed and matched. So yes, but I don't think it's that clear. I could definitely see. I can see either of those. I could. I'm a little torn on that one because direct democracy is good, but I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, I am going to be gone for the next 2 days. I will be back on. Absolutely. I'll be back on Monday night, probably 9 p.m. doing my show, maybe 7. I'll figure it out when the time comes. I'll try to do it then. Otherwise, I'll be gone for 2 days. Thank you so much, guys. Last thing I'll ask you is, once this is over, please come back. You know who we have to keep happy. Mr. Rhythm. Al Gore. Rhythm. They love it when you come back. Love when you do one or two things. One, once this is over, watch another video, even just like 5 minutes, another video that's already on this page. They love that. Or put a comment. They love both. Do either. Do both. Doesn't matter. I appreciate it. I will see you all very soon.